All right, everybody, we are back. Episode 3. I know a few of y'all have been waiting, man. Some stuff's about to go down in this episode. I'm sorry about the wait, y'all. Labor Day passed, major car shows and picnics and so forth was going on. So I know nobody was going to be watching, so I decided not to drop anything. But we are back again, episode 3. Before we get started, make sure y'all share, like, subscribe, tell a friend, man. We got to keep it going. I got some interesting things for y'all, man, this time. Pretty much to start off, my son was always doing that lowrider get back or whatever it's called. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of these games. And he was constantly always redoing the car so I could see, like, have an idea of what it would look like. So that really helped me out a lot. Shout out to my son, Malik. He's definitely had a big hand in this. Um, as far as with this build, he's had a lot of dope ideas that we're going to get into, and definitely helped me out with this as far as doing research. So definitely want to give a big kudos and shout out to my own son. All right, so pretty much getting into it. The body, pretty much all the rust and so forth was getting taken care of. The actual structure itself was now getting reinforced. So as you can see, I don't know the measurements on these things, y'all. He put a real big piece of tubing down the side of my rocker panels to reinforce the actual body itself. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's like a secret for some people who didn't know, or if that's something that a lot of people already knew. So pretty much getting into it. Of course, y'all seen the car. It's starting to look like a car again. It's sitting on 13s. Life is great, right? Now we're getting into the rear end. I've got a curry rear end on there. You know what I mean? We're trying to go all out. The body's getting finished off. There's actually pieces to a 57 that you can't buy. So some pieces of it, of the body wise, you do have to still make, just like a 59, 58 and so forth. So they actually had to form metal and get it to fit within this section in order for it to work, as far as getting rid of the rust in the lower quarter panels. One thing I do want to give a shout out to real quick is my man No Limit. Again, like I was saying in another video, if anybody's helped me out with this build, sent me in the right direction, has done anything positive and even negative, I'm gonna shout you out. You know what I mean? The bumper guards I actually got from No Limit. He had posted them up, and luckily I was already online, and it just popped up, and I seen it. Originally, I was not into bumper guards in the front for 57s. I thought it looked a little gaudy because they're real fat, they're real big. But now, building and being into it and seeing others and so forth, they're almost needed. You need to have them, those guards in the front. It's just a totally different look without it. It almost looks like it's completely missing something. So shout out to No Limit, man. You helped me out with this. Somebody else that actually did help me out with this too. Let me make sure I give them their props too. Is Bow Ties Northwest. I got my lower rocker molding from him, pristine, like perfect, just ready to go. Mount them up. I think they were high polished. I sent them off to have them chromed, but they were like very nice. I sent it in very, very nice tubing and so forth. And when I got it, there was no issues, no flaws. So Northwest, Bow Ties Northwest, definitely shout out to you too, man. I ain't forgot about you, man. You helped me out in this. Now, I did get spotlights. Of course, you know how to get spotlights. I have to apologize because I do not remember where I got them from. I thought I saved the person's name, and I did not. I have not seen them post or whatever since then. I do not know who they are, so I am sorry. I know you like, man, where's my shout out? If you see this video, I can shout you out again on another episode. Definitely let me know, and I'll get you added in there. But where I got my spotlights from, he awesome job. He rebuilds them, rechromes them, rewires them as new lights. Awesome job. He did a really good job. So I definitely want to give you your kudos and your props, but I do not remember who you are. So if you are watching this, if you see this, somebody tells you about it, just shoot me a DM or whatever, and I'll make sure I'll add something in there for the next one, boss. So now, of course, and I'm gonna just keep plugging it in because every time a 57 pops up, I'm on it. So again, I'm pretty much just keeping track with everybody who's got a 57. I was on this really strong in the beginning. It's gonna get a period of time when y'all watching these videos, and I'm not gonna show as many of them because it got to the point where I just started feeling like my shit was just never gonna drop. I'm gonna just go ahead and keep it real with you. Again, it's almost 5 years. This isn't a diss towards anybody. I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna be out there, man. I probably definitely not the way to think, because I like to speak things into existence. Maybe I should start saying it the other way around. I'm about to drop next summer, winter, whatever I'm about to come. But at that time, I was keeping track of whatever 57 came out, and here was another one I dropped.
A little bit above the ramp. So it could be up a little bit. You know what I mean? So when you're pulling with the shit, it's not hitting the bumper. That's the only
You have
way.
to turn it this way.
So around this time, I am starting to get ready to move forward. I'm moving on. I did well with the caliber on the side of my truck, driving around town, everybody seeing, pointing, stopping me. Um, I actually ended up selling that truck. I sold the truck back to the original owner that sold me the truck. He had to have it, so I sold it back to him. I took my logo and so forth off the side. I ain't gonna lie, man. I felt really bad about doing it. I was like, man, like like this is me. But I peeled the sticker off the side and so forth, and I sold him the truck back. That truck was gas, and again, this is where the car game people have so much to say. Oh my gosh, why would you get a gas truck? It needs to be diesel. You don't want to get a gas truck. Like that truck served this purpose perfectly well. It was a big lifted truck. All I wanted people to see was my big logo going down the side. It did exactly what I needed to do. I don't need diesel. I'm not towing. I'm not driving cross country. It did exactly what it needs to do at that time. But listening to people, I sold that truck, and my next plan was definitely to get a diesel truck the second round. Now, something that I know a lot of people always ask me is why did you get rid of Midnight Love? Well, why did you even think about selling it? Like the car was beautiful, it was perfect. Why did you sell it? I liked the car. I was struggling. I was doing very bad at that time. Getting by, but man, I'm telling you, for those of you who's actually watched my old videos, sleeping on an air mattress, what I mean? There's no furniture in the house. Like I came cross country with a dream. So that's the come when people get to talking and so forth. I don't listen to them because I know I came out here to do me. Like I can't stop for people. So at that time, I wasn't doing good. I was putting my last dime into Midnight Love. So I knew at one point I was going to sell it so that I can get back on my feet. So it was a temporary build for me. I know a lot of people probably saw it as why would you get rid of it? I ended up not liking that car towards the end because of the gold wheels and people copying me. For those of you who really know me and mess with me since mini truck and import days, caliboy, I don't like to be copied. Like I want to be different. I want to be my own person, which is why I have no problem, riding on swangers and doing me. I want to stand out. When I pull up, people's gonna know, hey, that's caliboy. That's not gonna be like, hey, is that such and such from up north, or is that there should be no, hey, who is that? It's always gonna be me. When I built Midnight Love, I did not want to put. Originally, I wanted to put black wheels on that car. Around that time, I was hanging out with the mothership. I didn't want to look like a little mini me, so I was like, okay, I don't want to put black wheels. But that was my original first plan. If you looked at my old videos, I had bought black 13s for Midnight Love. Started thinking about it, I was like, okay, well, they're going to confuse me with this black 63 that's up north, which I loved. So I said, okay, I don't want to go that route. I don't want to put chrome because it's not really giving a statement. So out of nowhere, and this is around the time nobody really had gold wheels. Again, Cracker, Speedy, and shout out to Freddie from Public Enemy, man. That was it. Everybody else was on something else. So I went and got these gold wheels. I actually had them in my closet, man, for man like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months, just sitting on them. And one day I was like, all right, let me go get me some tires. This is when you can actually go to the store and buy 520s, y'all. Premium Sportways, of course. Went and bought some, man. I think I got them from One Way. Put them on the car, and it was like an instant success. Like it took off. But I just remember everybody with a black car all of a sudden was like, I'm gonna get gold wheels, I'm gonna get gold wheels. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all killing me. So when I got rid of it, I just, people ask me to this day, do I miss it? No, I don't miss it. I don't even think about that car. But going into the next phase of the Bel Air, again, when I'm building this car, I kept saying to myself, whatever I do, I want to make sure that they're not going to duplicate me this round. If they do, you're gonna have to drop some crumbs to get to this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hit up my body shop guy. I said, man, I love all cars. I'm a true car enthusiast. Something that I've always wanted to have or at least do, 11 Skylines, Supras, Japan, and all that stuff. I said, yo, can you make this car right hand drive? My man said, say no more. I got you. So, as y'all can see, he started cutting away. Very nervous, I'm not even gonna lie. But my man he's putting it down. He's a beast with that measuring tape. He's a beast with, man, metal work. he got down to it. And seeing a lot of this is like, okay, maybe now I'm starting to understand as to why it's taking so long. You know what I mean? Going back and looking at this old footage, looking at it, I can kind of see it. There was some hiccups on both sides, but I'm starting to see now why, it might be starting to take a little bit of time. But it is definitely coming. At this point, man, like all my dreams is like starting to come true, man. There's nothing better than when you see something envisioned in your head and it's starting to come to life, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So suspension work and so forth is getting done. More on the rear end, the curved rear end and so forth is getting worked on. Measurements, the rear end is starting to sit low.
That's how you get under the frames and shit.
Yeah, it's gotta be small.
Without even. So you didn't have to get down all of these, look under the bottom of that 64 that dude in San Diego.
I did, but this helps out a whole lot. Cause it's so small.
Yeah, I see. Why you had no packing and shit?
Huh?
Why you had no packing shop?
Ain't no telling. Yeah, that's all me, man. Whenever I can find time, I'll be busy, man. Out that Instagram right now. Got my wife helping me. Got the bags in here.
Huh?
We got the bags in here. You wanna lift at the back? Spotlight sitting right there. That's dope.
All right, so I gotta shout out my homie Skim. Skim out in Texas from Majestics, man. Again, if anybody's helped me out with this ride, I gotta shout you out in a positive light or negative light if that's what happened. But Skim definitely helped me out. He posted up this fifth wheel, and man, as y'all can see, I needed that. So he came through. He got me to. Not only did he help me out with it, but he actually brought it to California because he had to go to a VW show because He be fixing the VWs also. So we linked up, man, and I got it from him. But I definitely need to give a thank you, big shout out to Skim, man, because you helped me out, man. I needed that fifth wheel. That was stressing me for the longest getting fit.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They said I think they got a baby coming up. That same place is supposed to be big. And yeah, oh, they probably giving them some kind of hormone. Oh no, the dog that goddamn big man. 180 pounds coming out.
Some more 57 Bellers is coming out. I seen this one from Elite. Man, I love this 57. I remember around the time it dropped, the first time I saw it was in San Diego. Man, I was on it like a hawk. I think eventually it got sold to Punchy, and then from there I don't know who has it, but I love that 57. So as you can see now, we're pretty much just working on body lines, working on the body, making sure that all the all the panels line up, all the lines and gaps and so forth is nice and pristine. So they're just going over that, mildly because now I know the front end's going to need to get taken apart again because of the right hand drive. Now this is around the time I bought my diesel. I call it my diesel, but I bought my second one. This one was actually diesel and it wasn't gas this time. Man, just real quick on that. I know people was like, "Why would you get a Ford? Why didn't you get?" Listen, I'm a Ford guy. I like Fords. Okay, I've had a few Chevys that have left me on the side of the road, so it is what it is. But I love them all. Everybody's supposed to be different. I know I'm hella different, and I love it. I know y'all don't like swingers, and I know y'all don't like exotics. It is what it is. But I bought a Ford, and I was happy with that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but it kind of went downhill as far as trying to build it. But we'll talk about that. So now, as y'all can see, my color is crazy. You know what I mean? Indoors is one color, outdoors is another color, underneath gas station lights is another color. It just keeps going. So I'm trying to figure out what color interior and top I should go with. We're testing colors and materials. It was all the way bad, but so boom, my son graduates out of high school, man. So he's done with school, y'all. So I had to slide that in there because this all happened in the making of my 57. Shout out to my boy Malik, man. Love you, man. So now my painter is like, okay, let's start maybe working on hydraulics and how you want the trunk to somewhat kind of look, so we can start planning on setups and so forth. Because he's already cutting the car out for hydraulics. Um, I'm looking at Big Frank's. I mean, shout out to Big Frank. I did a feature on him. What's in your garage? Make sure y'all check that out. Frank, man, he gets down. I mean, just the big fittings and hard lines and so forth, man. It just looks so clean. Like his work is just unmatched, man. So shout out to Big Frank, man, because I was going through your Instagram, man, trying to figure out what type of a setup to get, man. Now around this time frame, big homie Young Hog was still on the scene. I think this was like Torres show. Like somebody thought he was just a videographer that doesn't what I mean, be on the switch, and he had to serve him a two piece with a biscuit. You know what I mean?
Young all gonna get in that pussy. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all thought I just made videos. Got that shit fucked up. See, bro? We gonna be cool. But I can't. I just whooped your ass. We're the
Now, around this time frame, Southside is putting together a '59 Impala that y'all have seen, that's out on the streets now. I personally have not seen this car yet. I can't wait to see it, but they're putting together this car. My colors aren't the best, y'all. So I'm looking at it like, is this my color? Because my colors changing so hard that it's like, man, is that my color? Is that what it looks like? Is that it? So a little frustrated. With that being said, I'm going to drop this picture here. I'm not going to really say too much. I want to just let y'all see this bad boy sitting here. This was the homie's car from One Love, Jim out in Vegas. He sold this car, and I'm just gonna leave this picture here, man, because we're gonna come back to this. So now, this is unfortunately when the big homie Boxer passed away. Rest in peace, big dog. Love you, man. This guy, he was a solid individual, man. He was about his, man. When I did my episode on him on What's in Your Garage, he was actually already sick. Cause I know some people was like, okay, he was just on here. How did he pass away already? He was very sick when I filmed that. We actually had to postpone that shoot a couple times because he didn't have enough energy. So on the one that he did get filmed in, his son was like, man, like he worked up the energy to hit the switch and everything, man. So that's why I told y'all on episode 2, man. Make sure y'all go back and check that episode, man, because it means a lot. That was for Boxer, man. Um, but unfortunately, he had passed away, and we are where we are. So now I'm about to do what's in your garage with my man Glock 9 and his son's out in Orange County.
Tighten up on your backstroke.
Tighten up on my backstroke.
He wants to tighten up on his backstroke.
Because when they were dancing on the bus stop, I said, listen, I gotta tighten up on my backstroke.
I was getting a lot of love. People were sending me, their kids saying, "Kaka." So right about now, my painter is like, he's fine. He's letting me know that most of the rust is, not most of the rust, pretty much all of the rust is taken care of except for some rust that was in my trunk. He's like, you know what? I can fix it. We can cut at it and keep inserting pieces. But I'm like, why would I want a trunk that's like a million just pieces chopped up to make it work? I was like, just junk it and let's just go get another trunk. Now, around this time, I'm still filming for, like I was saying in episode 2, I was still filming for Palm Trees and Switches DVD, which was my third DVD that never came out. Um, like I said in episode 1, there's some people who's we don't really communicate. We're not on really talking terms like that anymore. Some of them could just be confusion of thinking, the opposite of how I'm thinking and so forth. But to anybody who may have gotten upset because that DVD didn't come out, I am definitely sorry for wasting your time, because that's one of my biggest things too. Is I don't like to waste people's time, but at the same time we always had fun on every shoot. But it just didn't come out. It wasn't. I mean, there's a bunch of people in there that it just didn't come out, and I just didn't have the time to put it together like I used to. So with that being said, definitely still love y'all, man. There's no issues. Sometimes it's just a matter of communication and talking it out. So now, pretty much at this point, we're finalizing body line still, uh, still working on the right hand drive, making sure the dash and the panel and so forth, everything's lining up. All the lines looking pristine. My painter's biggest thing here is that he wanted it to look completely factory, like it came from the factory in '57 as a right hand drive for us. So now we're working on the bumpers, test fitting, body lines, so forth, making sure the bumper and everything works. Starting to do a little bit of mild work on it as far as the body, because more is going to come later on. Probably episode 4, I'll start telling you about what we start doing for the body. That was a new process for me. But yeah, we're just making sure that everything fits the body according to how it's being built. Now, we started getting into the rack and pinion. So now the front end and a lot of the stuff that was already kind of worked on had to be redone, because now I'm going from left-hand drive, normal US, to right-hand drive. So the whole rack and pinion and everything is the complete opposite way. So we had to order all of that up. Obviously, the firewall and hoses and so forth was in different places, but the firewall is one of the biggest things. That was another one where I was kind of looking at, like that picture I saw with no floors in my car. I was just kind of like looking like Kevin Hart or something, like, you know what I'm saying? And I get it, and I kind of answered my own question as far as how I was feeling towards the end. I guess it's kind of helping out seeing it back from my scenario. A lot has happened with this car. I mean, man, a lot of work is going into it. I definitely see it. Again, I haven't down my painter and so forth. Later on, we do bump heads. Some stuff is going to happen, but we got past that because we're still, I'm filming current. But yeah, it's just crazy to see your car get chopped up. So it got replaced. He put nice thicker steel and so forth. So I probably won't even feel the heat from my motor and so forth anymore. So it all worked out. My spotlights are starting to get added. I'm loving that. I can't wait to see this car with the spotlights. I'm like, man, like all my dreams is coming true. Spotlights, a fifth wheel, a '57 rag. I got airbrushing coming from Corey St. Clair. Like everything that I'm envisioning is starting to come together. It's just crazy. So my son was starting to want to get his feet wet. He wanted to get into low riding. So fresh out of high school, obviously, y'all just saw that. And my man Doc Hector from High Class IE, what's up, big dog? He posted up that he was selling a few cars, and one of them was his Cadillac. So my son was like, "Yeah, I want to check that out." So we worked out a deal. But he thought he was gonna be making payments to him and kind of getting it later on. So he had went on a trip with my mom and my dad, my parents, and they went to the Carolinas. And while he was out there, I had it delivered to where he stays, and I'm just like filming it, and then I sent it to him, and he was just all stoked, like, cause he wasn't expecting it to be there, y'all. So it was one of those fun moments. I don't think I have when he received it, but he was just shocked that it was finally in the yard. It was a project, but it was a hell of a cool project.
Hope you ready, boy. You know what I'm saying? Don't even trip, homie. She look good. I'll let you clean it up. I ain't gonna mess with it as bad as I want to. Oh, she got gas in it. I'll put some more gas in it. 168,000 miles. I thought the battery was hooked up. I was gonna swing it real quick for you, Mo, but it's all good. Your caddy on it, homie.
So now I'm getting into fixing up my diesel, which I call my diesel. Just being funny with the words. So now I'm lifting it. Real quick on that note, whenever y'all getting something done by these shops and so forth, man, get what you want. I don't know if this guy knew what he could and couldn't order or what. I kind of know how that type of business works, since I used to do that for Dirty South when I was in Charlotte. But every time I said I wanted something, he would talk me out of it and end up getting something else. So I don't want to get into a long story on that, but that truck kind of didn't get built how I wanted it, so I was never satisfied with it. But we'll let it roll.
Yeah, you can stop though. I like to get it close over there.
So I'm getting custom wheels. I had custom 26s made. I think 37-inch tires on it, 6-inch lift. I think I wanted an 8 or a 10-inch lift. Like, I wanted it to be up there, but we ended up going this route, the wheels and so forth road. I wasn't really feeling that. So my trunk gets painted. I told my painter to start working on the trunk, getting it prepped, get it painted and cleared, so I can take it to Corey St. Clair, because I want him to put this airbrush on there, because that's one of my dreams, to have this trunk done. The way my car is moving, I'm like, I need to get my trunk done as soon as possible, so it's there for completion and so forth. So I'm trying to think ahead, trying to plan ahead, and yeah, we'll get more into that. So right now, the theme that I'm looking for at the time, again, this is around 2019. I was really into, and I don't know if I'm saying the name correct, but I was really into Greek mythology. So I just like all the stones and the broken stones with the statues and so forth. It's just like a high end, like royalty look to me. So I said, for the look, Corey St. Clair would be best to get this image out. But I'm not an artist. I don't know how to put pictures and all that stuff together. Shout out to all airbrushers, man. Y'all get down. The creativity in y'all's head, man, it's much needed, man. Thank y'all. But I sent him a couple of pictures, and I told him, a few things that I wanted. Yeah, I was about to say something, but I don't want to get into that just yet. So now is about the time that I'm ordering my wheels, getting Dayton's, of course. It doesn't matter if you're on China's, McLean's, hubcaps, whatever y'all want to roll on is what y'all want to roll on. But I went and got some Dayton's for it. One thing about me is I like to, if I mess with you, eventually I want to do business through you. Like, I'm like, okay, if you mess with me, and if y'all really know me, if you support me, I support you back. So at the time, and he passed away too. Rest in peace, Freaky Tales. He was one of those guys who always would refurbish old Daytons and so forth and send them out brand new. I always told him that, when my car gets going, I'm going to order a set of Daytons from you for my car. Like, we used to chop it up. And he passed away, and I still want to keep my word to him, man. So, the family or whoever took over, I was like, yo, I want to order a set of 13 by 7s, you know what I mean? So they got him out to me. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. I know, he's no longer with us, but still want to say, Rest in peace and shout out, OG Freaky Tales. Another real quick shout out is Bowtie Northwest. I got the Atronic Eye from you. Again, I wanted to shout out anybody who helped out with this build. Now, for those of you y'all know, those sit on the left for US, left-hand drive. Wait till y'all see what happens in the future. Now, I was about to say something. We'll just wait. So now, this is about the time, for those of you who really is on social media, this is around the time that Crippany Haddish was live on Wendy Williams banging 60s for Nipsey Hussle.
Hold on. Nah. Peep. I ain't the smartest man in the world. But she just banged on y'all on TV. Peep, take it back. Look, she throw up the C first from the earring. Bang. What happened? Throw up the C with the right hand. Bang. What happened? You heard? Scroll down. Crippany Haddish is a gangster. Look at her. Huh? The marathon continues. You heard? Throw up the neighborhood. Bang. Then the other hand, neighborhood. And then the big C. And I put that on the hood. Like turtle wax. You heard? I see you, Crippany Haddish. You heard? On Wendy, though? Banging on live national daytime TV.
So, obviously, my son got his Cadillac. Now he's starting to get into it. He's rendering his car like how he's doing my 57 so that I can see it. I'm not going to show his. That's strictly his business. I don't know if that's something he wants to do in the future and so forth. But let's just say we're studying this guy. Now, I know a lot of people always ask me, like, what is your favorite of, this car, that car? And I love this Cadillac. Like, I love it. We chopped it up. He told me how much it was appraised at and so forth. I don't want to be that guy that's like Homer Simpson, like asking and like fade off into the bushes. Like, I've thought about asking him to sell that Cadillac a few times. Like, I really thought the house, like, saw at the house and was like, yo, I'm going to just ask him because I love that Cadillac. So now I'm getting my trunk lid from my painter. It's painted, it's polished out, it's cleared and so forth. I got it in my living room. I'm hype, y'all. I'm inviting my friends and family over. I'm like, look at my trunk. Look at the color. Look how it looks, right? Like, I'm all into it, right?
You probably see it better with the light on it, Corey. It's like a pearly pink color.
So I think I had it for like a day or two, and then I literally met up with Corey St. Clair, man, to finally drop off my trunk so he could start doing airbrush work on it. I remember we slid it into the back seat of his Chrysler 300, and he was on his way. Now, around this time, I'm like, okay, I got the truck, I got the lowrider getting built. I want like a nice luxury car, man, so I can get dressed up and go to dinner or go somewhere fancy, put on your best watch and shoes and so forth and ride out, you know what I mean? I lived in the Carolinas, living out there, it's about college or balling on everybody, you know what I mean? So I got the European in me where it's like, yo, I gotta have a foreign or something around, you know what I mean? So I got that bug, and I'm like, look, I'm looking for something. My first choice was this 4-door Bentley. Again, this is 2019. I know it's an older shape now. At that time, it was definitely still cool, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, that shape's probably getting ready to date itself. So then I thought about an older Bentley and just doing me, just bagging it and just really being myself. And I really thought about that for a while because I found a few of those body shapes. Those actually aren't bad, but I decided not to. But something I did decide is I was like, there's got to be something else out here that everybody's walking right past and nobody fixes up. So I found an Audi A8L. You barely find these cars. I finally found one, man, pristine. So I picked it up.
I don't know how to work this shit yet, Julian.
Now, y'all know me. I don't keep anything stopped. So I took it straight in, had the air ride put on it, dilemmas and dramas happen behind that car. That's another whole story. There is a feature on that actual car. I don't know if I called it or what's in your garage, but there is a feature of my Audi that I had. It's actually this Audi that's behind me on the skateboard. If it focuses in, I don't know if it actually show it. So we started taking apart some of the the stainless and some of the trim and so forth, so I can get ready to start doing inventory to take it off to the chromer. Um, I'm probably dragging on. I have a feeling I'm getting a little too late with it. So I'm gonna go and wrap it up here for episode 3. Episode 4, we'll start getting into Corey St. Clair. Um, he took off with my money and my dick lid. And it's also around the time that everybody starts blasting him on social media. Calling him all kinds of crazy names. And I'm like, really? Like, now this has to happen? So yeah, we'll get into that, y'all. Plus some other stuff. It's gonna be a roller coaster ride still. Like we're just starting to get somewhere, but it's still a roller coaster ride. But again, make sure y'all share, like, subscribe. Gotta get these views up. If I don't drop episode 4 next week, it'll be the following week. Finding this old footage and so forth. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get things to pop up. But yo, love y'all, man. Thanks y'all for checking me out, man. Hope y'all liked it. On to the next one.